Hello and welcome everyone to The Difference Makers. I'm Lynn Sanders, your host, and I'm so glad you're here. We have a very special guest here for you. Everyone is here because you want to get empowered, inspired, and motivated to make a bigger difference. So that's why I carefully select guests who can help you be able to tap into your highest potential. I'm very excited to let you know that our guest today is Renee Mollan-Masters. She's a best-selling author of the book You Are Smarter Than You Think, and she has a master's degree in speech pathology. So she brings a great deal of wisdom to the art of speaking and learning. I'd like to have you get a chance to meet her right now. So let's tune in now to Renee Mollan-Masters. Welcome, Renee.
Oh, thank you, Lynn. I'm so happy to be here. I really am. This is great. How fun.
Yeah, I'm very glad to have you too. And I'd like you to share with the audience today a little bit about yourself, how you got to where you are, not only as a best-selling author of the piece of You're Smarter Than You Think, but also the author of a new book that everyone needs to know about, The Peace Train. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I got a master's degree in speech pathology, and about 30 years ago, I wrote the book, You're Smarter Than You Think. And this is a picture of the book. And it was a book that has been used by nursing programs nationally, and it helps people learn more effectively. And that was a really great, fun run for me. And then my husband passed away. And I don't know, I was really surprised at how that changed things for me, but it did. It's kind of like It wakes you up to the reality that life ends. And we kind of lie to ourselves a little bit about that. And I know, Lynn, you've had that experience too. And after he passed away, I took a class with Brene Brown, and she asked us a question of, if you died tomorrow, what would you feel sad about that you didn't accomplish? And I knew what it was immediately, and it had to do with film. All my life, I have been interested in film. All my life, I've always wanted to do something in it. And so I just jumped in. And so I started writing this book, Peace Train. And it was the most fun I think I've ever had. It was, every day was an adventure. And so now the book is out, and I'll show you a picture of my book. I love it.
Okay, I want to pause a little bit. So let's take a look at your book for a minute. Let me give a close up there.
Okay.
So let's step back for a second, because you covered a lot of territory in a short amount of time, and I know you wanted to condense everything. So let's go back to your realization that time is limited, and your thought that you wanted to create a movie. So how did you go from thinking about creating a movie to jumping into the topic of the Peace Train? Tell us about that.
Well, it was really funny how this all happened, because I got this idea of writing a story, and I had done nonfiction, and I didn't know if I could write fiction. So I called my editor and I said, do you think I can do it? And she said, Renee, you'll never know if you don't try. Yeah. So I thought, okay, I'll try. So the first attempt wasn't that great. But she called me a couple of weeks later, and she had interviewed a lady that had run these camps for Israeli and Palestinian kids for almost 20 years. Mm-hmm. So I went to her website and I read the comments of the kids, and the kids were talking about how when they came to the United States, they made friends almost instantly. And when they got back home, everything fell apart. Hmm. So I thought, okay, here's the story. I don't know what it is, but here's the story. And so every day I just dropped into this place that I go when I write, and this story just started unfolding. And where it went from one day to the next, I didn't know. And it was so much fun to do.
So tell us more about the story. And did you actually interview people at the camps to get more of the background of this program?
No, I did research as I went. Google is the best. It can give you all kinds of background information. But I allowed the characters in the story to just come to me. And the three main characters have become almost like children to me. I mean, they feel very alive, and the story just became alive. And when I got to a spot where I didn't understand or know something, I would go and look it up. And then I would put that information in. So it's just a grand adventure.
So would it be safe to say that you felt that the information was perhaps directed to you from a higher source, that you were getting insights?
I think so. That's kind of where I've always gone when I write. I wrote "You're Smarter Than You Think" from that place. And it's a place deep within, and I don't have to work very hard. It just sort of comes. I could even hear the words coming out of the characters' mouths. And it's very personal. It's as though I'm in the story. And it's a wonderful ride. It's great.
Well, tell us more. I mean, tell us, what is the Peace Train all about? Because I think it's something, I've read it, it's something that everybody needs to read. It's especially timely for today's world. So tell us, what is the Peace Train about?
Well, Peace Train is about three individuals, two Palestinians and one Israeli. They're kids. They go to camp in the United States, and they have been taught to hate each other. And what happens is they become fast friends, just the best friends. They can't believe they have so much in common. And they agree that they're going to stay friends even when they get home. And when they get home, they stay friends. And two of them eventually get married. And something horrific happens to them. Just the worst thing that you can imagine. And it separates them. And then something happens that they decide to say no more, that this is the end of this kind of experience. And they begin doing these friendship pods with their enemies all over their countries, and it creates a peace that nobody thought could ever happen.
Wow. It seems very relevant to today's world where there's so much separatism going on that I would think that there would be some lessons in this book that are embedded that we could learn from. What do you hope to accomplish for people who read this book?
Well, you know, we've been singing Peace Train for what, 30, 40 years? I don't know how long. And in the song, it says, come on, get on the peace train. So the question is how do you get on the peace train?
Exactly.
Well, you know, you get on the peace train, first of all, by saying no more, by saying, okay, I am going to stop pushing people away that are different than myself. I am going to be more connected to my teenagers. I'm going to be more understanding to my neighbor who bugs me every time he does what he does. You may think that that doesn't make a difference, but I want you to know that everything is energy. And if I find a more loving way to be with somebody, it ripples out and it affects life. It truly does. And if 100,000 of us made this commitment and said, no more, I'm going to stop pushing people away, I'm going to start connecting, it would change the world. It just would.
Right, because I think you and I, that's how we got connected, through words on a site where we read each other's words and we could feel the energy. And this book carries that energy that we can choose to learn from, right?
Yes, it was written to inspire. And when we're inspired, it's like all these dormant forces inside of us get activated. And it moves us to do things that we wouldn't otherwise do. And so this book is to say, hey, come on, let's get on the peace train. Let's do this. We can do this. We can make a difference.
I love that.
I can't make the difference, but we together, we think the government can do it. They can't do it. They never done it.
Each one of us can make a difference. And
that's
we each
right.
touch lives, right? We each have that ripple effect.
Exactly. And the friendship pods are really kind of a new paradigm. I had a man on Facebook read my book, and he just said, Renee, those friendship pods feel like a new paradigm. It's a new way to be able to connect with your enemy. And it is. And Israelis researchers have found out that when a person gets connected with another person, and you all know what that feels like,
yes.
there literally is an energetic ribbon that goes from one person's heart to the other person's heart. And I always say, when love is present, everybody wins.
That is beautiful. I love that. Let's say that again. When love is
present, everybody wins.
Exactly. You know, when you're in the presence of a spiritual leader, a guru, whether you believe in the religion or not, you feel that energy.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm sure you must have been around a lot of spiritual people, Renee, to even be able to tap into that feeling when you wrote the book. I don't know, or either that or you have it within you.
Well, I think everybody has it within us. And I think for some, I don't know, magical reason, whatever, I've been able to tap into that for the last 20, 30 years. And I don't know why it is. It's just a gift that I got. And I've been using it. So it's really beautiful to use it.
I think it's really important to use it, actually.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned before we came on the air right now that you have your other book is also mentioned in the Peace Train. You Are Smarter Than You Think. Tell us about how those two could interrelate.
Well, they don't really interrelate, but we have put the name on my new book on the cover. And you're smarter than you think. It just seems like this is what I do. I say things that people already know, but nobody talks about it. That's kind of what I do. Mm-hmm. And You're Smarter Than You Think talks about the idea that everybody learns differently. Now, we all know that, but do we do anything about it? Nope, we don't. And especially schools don't do anything about it.
That's true.
And my program, you know, nursing is a tough course, and it saved nurses all around the country who were struggling trying to get through their program. And it made them learn in a more effective way based on how their brain worked. So that's what that program's about.
I'm going to just pause here for a moment, Renee, because unfortunately our video froze and the sound froze a little bit when you were saying something so important. You were talking about how we all learn differently, and yet the system doesn't treat us that way. So I'm going to ask you, because I want to see if we can re-edit this part in. If you wouldn't mind repeating, if you remember back what you just said about how You're Smarter Than You Think plays into the book, The Peace Train.
Okay. Well, what I've discovered about myself as I'm looking back is that what I do is I talk about things that people already know, but we don't do anything about it. And my book, You're Smarter Than You Think, is a book that talks about how everybody learns differently. Well, that's not a new idea. We all know that. Everybody learns differently. But what's really funny is that in education, nobody does anything about it. And my book empowers students so that they can use their brain talents in a classroom with any kind of teacher and be successful. And so that's what I do. I just say things that people know, but nobody's talking about.
Would you just say that last sentence again? I'm going to pause. I say things that people know, but nobody's talking about. I
say things that people know, but nobody is talking about.
Right. And now you are talking about it. Just think of that.
Yeah, exactly. I am.
So let's take this a step further. You mentioned that it took you time to write this book. It wasn't, a one-day task, and yet you were having the vision of a movie. So tell us about why you're motivated to do that and how long it took you to get this book completed.
Well, who knows why we're interested in what we're interested in? I don't know, but I've always loved film and I've always wanted to do a film. So I knew that in order to do that, I had to have a story. So I created the story. And then I got some software and I created a sound, a script, a movie script. Mm-hmm. And that was really fun. That was more fun than writing the book, actually. It's more my style. And I just made a commitment that this is what I was going to do about a year ago. And today I have a team of people. We've put this team has put together the financial program. We're looking for funders. We're looking for A-list actors, and it's happening. It's like it's happening.
Wow.
And it's really exciting.
I mean, you make it sound so easy. So you said an important word in there. You said a team. Everyone needs to know that it's not just one person that makes it happen. You pull people together, right?
It's exactly. Film is a collaborative art form. It's not about one person. It's about finding a whole bunch of people who are really good at what they do and everybody coming together and putting together a film. It's just not a one person job. It just isn't.
Yes. So where are you now in you've written a book and you've written the screenplay, is that correct?
Yeah.
Which are two different skills, amazing. And where are you now with your progress towards getting the film done? So you're looking for actors, talent?
Where we are is we're in the process of raising the $7 million that we need for the film, which is a low budget film. Just thought I'd say that.
That's okay.
And we're talking to some people that are very interested in funding us. And I'll be going down to LA in a couple of days just to work on that. And then we're also we want some A-list actors involved because that also helps with the funding. So it's, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? I don't know, but we have to deal with that issue.
That's so exciting. So ultimately, what would you say, if you could say it in a summary, what you would want people to walk away from or feel after reading this book? That it's possible to have peace between people of different backgrounds and religions, that we just need to have a new awareness?
I hope that people feel inspired. And I hope that they maybe come to a point where they say, okay, I'm done with pushing people away that are different. I'm not going to do that anymore. And if they do that one thing, and if 100,000 people did that one thing, our whole world would change. So my hope is that individuals will be inspired to imitate what the characters in this book did. And maybe we could see something magical happen. Just maybe. It's possible.
That's beautiful, Renee. It's so beautiful.
Thank you.
If you were to take a look at, you and I are very aware of time and of life because we've dealt with loss. So if you were to take a look at the spectrum of your life, this book, this movie, and beyond, what would you say are your goals to accomplish in life? What would you like to feel your big picture vision is?
Well, I truly believe that everybody came here this lifetime to do something. And not everybody's in touch with that. I happen to be in touch with why I came here. And I know that at this point in time in life, I came here to bring some light to the world. And that's my job. That's what I'm supposed to do. And it feels really good to finally be doing my job, why I came here, instead of being pulled off.
It's so great.
So
So
yeah, I'm really
you're in
excited.
alignment with your passion. That's what you're saying. That's why you feel
Yeah, and
good.
it's more than just passion. It's actually being in touch with a thought or something, an awareness, I think, that this is why I came here. I didn't come here for all those other things that I've done. I came here to do this. This is what I came here to do.
This is your
So,
mission.
yeah, so this is what I'm doing.
I love that. And I think everyone could learn from that, that if you get in touch with what makes you excited and happy, that's your mission. That's what you really want to
Yes,
accomplish.
exactly. And
So
lots of times what we do is we talk ourselves out of it saying, oh, I can't do that. But you can. You
that's
can
true.
do it.
So how can people reach you? You mentioned about funders. There may be people listening right now who say,
Yeah.
I want to throw Renee some money, maybe a couple million.
Hey, I'll take it.
Right.
Yeah. We have our website is www.peacetrainmovie.com. And you can go there and you can contact us from that website. And we'd love to hear you. And we're on Facebook and all of the social media platforms too.
Great.
So we'd love to hear from you.
So that's for those writing this down, it's the Peace Train Movie.
No, it's not that. Peacetrainmovie.com.
And Renee
Yeah.
Mollan-Masters is the person you want to speak to.
Right.
So as we wrap up, Renee, last words, is there something you want people to remember as they finish watching this show? What's the message you'd like to leave them with?
I would like to say that if you want to make your day the best you can make it, find a way to get yourself inspired. And if you get yourself inspired, your day will be the best day ever.
Beautiful. Thank you, Renee. And thank you all for listening to this program. Remember, you can reach Renee at peacetrainmovie.com. And I want to wish you all a wonderful day. Keep up doing what makes you happy and inspired, and you too will feel like you are making a bigger difference in the world. Thank you, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. Bye-bye.